Hey Patreon, how we doing today? Like usual, I always want to start off with a huge thank you to you guys for basically making it rain with your hard-earned money and allowing me to improve the Key West kayak fishing channel and invest the balance into the All About the Bait store. So what is Patreon? Basically, it's a way for my viewers who enjoy my videos or maybe learn something from them, who want to basically contribute back to the channel and help me improve it, make it better. So if you check a look in the description below, there's a link to my Patreon account. There you'll find a bunch of different tiers, and it's basically a monthly donation. So every month you pick whatever amount, and that's how much is basically given to me. I take that money and I pump it back into the Key West kayak fishing channel. So for example, this last month I picked up the $100 kayak trailer, okay, and then fixing that up, getting my car available to use a trailer, the light, the hitch, the electronics for it, and then to fixing the trailer to make it roadworthy and safe. It cost me another $600–700 there. So I took that money, invested in there, and that not only was a great interesting videos that I'm making about doing a kayak trailer, but it's also allowed me to fish my own home waters because I wasn't allowed to use the boat ramps in Marathon here where I live because you can't just car top and park. You have to have an actual trailer. But now I have a trailer, so now I have a few videos about fishing the island right around here. And not only is that interesting for people, but I think it'll be helpful for those tourist vacationers coming to Marathon specifically to see some spots around the actual island, give them a little bit of a head start, finding bait, finding where the fish are, etc. So I think it'll be kind of helpful there. And then on top of that, anytime I break something, lose something, corrosion eats it, falls overboard, I don't have to worry about it. I know I've got that pool of money and I could just replace it. And I'm still referring to my GoPro 7 Black and the stick and the new dive thing. No, I'm not over it yet. But I did come home, got on Amazon, ordered all the pieces, and then within 3 days I had another stick and I was back to filming again. So that's kind of how it works. And then for those times where I don't spend all the money that I receive, I invest it. Important, invest it into the All About the Bait store. Okay, that allows me to bring in new products in, try new product lines out, and so forth. And basically I sell those, I get more money, and I pump it back in, extra money goes to Key West kayak fishing, and it just basically helps me build both of them at the same time. Then having that All About the Bait store allows me to bring in products, which allows me to kind of pay it back to my Patreon supporters, okay? So it helps me to feel better that I'm not just taking people's money, but I'm also kind of being able to funnel it back. So the way that works is that every month I pick up a line of merchandise, and then that'll be my featured for the month. And for my Patreon supporters who are donating $20 and higher, I just automatically just send them whatever that monthly product is. And then for my group of $5 to $19, anywhere in between there, I lump those together, and then I pick 10 of those people and I send them the product of the month. And that's basically where we are today. Time to send out some loving. So let's check out what I'm sending out. Alright, let's get to the goodies. Now, I am going to be covering for the month of September, October, November, and even December. A little bit behind there, but that was kind of a strategic thing. In the Keys, we have a hurricane season. It's basically August, September, all the way through November. And that's kind of our peak hurricane season. And when I moved to Marathon, I live in a kind of a flood-prone area where this house is flooded out anytime there's a hurricane. So I took a calculated risk in that I didn't want to bring in a lot of merchandise in the fourth quarter until after that November hurricane kind of cut off. So basically I stopped bringing in merchandise around September, and then just played it by ear until November, and then started turning on the floodgates again. So kind of was just a strategic thing, so that's why we're a little bit behind. But we're going to play catch up today. And for September, we've got the boom beanie, because it's 75 degrees out there and I really love wearing beanies and getting heat stroke walking outside. But I think other places possibly are colder. I don't know. I haven't left the Keys in a long time, but apparently there's snow somewhere in the world, and that's what this is for. Now, if you ever check my website, you're not going to find any cold weather gear, because I don't know what cold weather is, what you guys wear, so it doesn't really pertain to that much. But I did get this, my one and only cold weather gear. Nice beanie here. I have 4 colors. We've got, boom, for your deer hunters out there, Safety Hunter Orange. Actually, if you're going fishing as well in cold weather, orange, especially the kayaks, save your life so you don't get run over. I've got a navy blue, and then we've got this heather gray here, all with the All About the Bait Tarpon logo there. So that is what I'm giving to for the month of September, and hopefully during this time you'll be seeing the names scrolling on one side. I think probably, yeah, I think on this side here, names scrolling. Those are my giveaways. It's a mixture of the $20 and higher, and then 10 random picks between the $5 and $19. So thank you very much for that donations in September. All right, so next up we've got October. And October is the month of the Shmito, or more specifically, 4 new colors of the Shmitos. Now, the Shmito is my own personal custom design by me. I wanted a specific soft plastic to fit exactly what I wanted, and that became the Shmito. It's basically a mix of the Esky shrimp tail on the bottom there, mixed and attached to a standard, or similar to a standard fluke body. I really like that because with the belly slit and the little reserve spot on the back, it allows you to rig it weedlessly and rig it and work it through weeds with no problems at all. Having that shrimp tail gives it the shrimp part of the Shmito, and the minnow part is that all you have to do is V-notch the tail, and then it becomes a split tail fluke, a standard minnow imitation fluke jerkbait. So it's cross useful, so very happy about that. This color here was also, I was wanting a very dark. I always like to have light and a dark option. I was thinking about black, but black is just one-dimensional black. So I had them take my cranberry color and just really darken it up and make it almost black. If you didn't have bright light, it's basically black, but it's still a dark, dark burgundy color to it. Gold flakes that are muted with the red there. And this will be one of my sea trout colors there, because the cranberry color in the Esky shrimp is very popular in the Big Pine area for the sea trout. So I've got that. Got the green with the red pepper flakes in there. That color is a very popular color across the board. Sells really well in just the Esky shrimp, so I figured I'd get that. Then we've got the pearl. I always like white. White is my murky watercolor. I'm not a big chartreuse fan because it's not really a natural color. So the most natural color out there is basically white. So pretty much even in clear water, all baits have basically a white underpinning. So that fits the bill there. And then in dirty water, white is an excellent contrast, very visible without going to that bright yellow chartreuse color there. So I always like that. Plus, for those people that like to colorize their own soft plastics, this pearl is basically a good base. So you could just dip the tails, dip the heads, spray paint your colors, use the markers, and then you could have basically design it exactly how you want it. Then we've got the pink. For the reason of is I like the pink colors in the Eskies, and the way I was getting them is that I was taking my cranberry with the glow and basically throwing a few glows with the cranberry bag and just letting them sit there, and the cranberry red color bleeds onto the white and it made them pink. But then I was like, man, I'll just do a pink. So I did a Esky shrimp in pink, and I also wanted that in the Shmito as well. So we got the pink with the red speckles on there. So we've got that. So that's going to be the October giveaway. I'm going to give out samples to my October Patreons. So thank you very much, October. All right, that brings us to November. Thank you very much, November Patreon supporters. And November is the month of the brown bucktail jigs. Now, I already did carry the brown in the 1/4 ounce, but I made the, I guess, a somewhat incorrect decision when I did not include the brown in the 1/2 ounce and the 3/4 ounce bucktail jigs, because I didn't figure, my thoughts were heavier would be used for out on the reef, and out on the reef there's not like a lot of shrimp or crab normally. They're more the silvers, the whites, and those colors. So I knew the brown would match the shrimp and the crabs in the inshore, and it's definitely my go-to for any flats and inshore fishing, the brown bucktail. But I didn't think about them as being that really necessary for the heavier weights, deeper waters, so I didn't do them in the brown. But then I got a lot of requests from the inlet fishermen guys and the bridge fishermen up on the mainland. And the reason being is, for the inlet guys, you're talking about a lot of very heavy current. That's probably the most ripping current we have down in the South Florida, is those inlet / outlets. And those guys want the brown colors because it's still inshore, it's still shrimp and crabs, but they need something to be able to sink. And these 1/4 ounces would never leave the surface because the current is so strong. So the 1/2 ounce and 3/4 would be perfect for it and allow them to get to the bottom and bounce it in that current there. So I had a lot of requests for that. Same thing for the bridge people. They wanted the heavier weight so that they can get them down when they're working the pilings and such. So that was a miscalculation on my part. So resolve that by adding the 1/2 ounce and the 3/4 ounce in the browns. So for the month of November, I'm going to send you guys out a sample pack of the nice brownie browns. And that brings us to December. Now, since we're only 2 weeks into December, it's a little bit funky there, but what I'm going to do is specifically for my $20 and higher tiers, since you guys have been so patient with me, plus you guys throw the big bucks at me, what I'm going to do, instead of waiting till December and doing another giveaway for that, I'm just going to include December's in with the September, October, and November's. Just give it to you guys. So if you're a registered November Patreon supporter, then I'm just going to send you December's anyways. Then after December and January, then I'll do the drawing for the $10, $5 to $19 people group there, and just send those out secondary. Now for the month of December, I actually just did a video, anti-video about this, which is I don't use hard baits anymore. And the main reason was the cost of them, on top of constantly losing them to sharp toothed critters out there that just cut the line and you get zero enjoyment out of them. So very not cost effective for down here in the Keys. However, there is one bait that I've used from day one of coming down here. It's always been my favorite hard bait. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Would probably still be the one exception if Kmart hadn't closed. They were my cheap resource for getting them because I used to wheel and deal with all these little coupon giveaways they'd give me and I'd get a reasonable price for them. Otherwise, once I couldn't get those anymore, I even shut those off and didn't use them. But recently in the videos, because I was able to source some of the older styles at a very reasonable price, and it would allow me to sell them very reasonable, I decided to bring these on board and be my one and only hard bait. And that is the good old classic top water bait there. Bam! I have 4 different colors. We have the top standard, the classic color combination, which is the red face with the white body. Then I've got the pilchard, which is a black top, kind of a greenish side with a white belly. Then we've got the holographic clear. It's kind of a see-through with a holographic film, so it kind of gives off that rainbow spectrum in the light. And then we've got another classic color, which is the bone standard bone color there. So I have those 4 colors. I'm going to give out a couple samples to my product testers group there. But wait, there's more. Now originally the classic setup was basically based off of a 2 treble hook system there. One of the weakest points for these baits are the treble hooks. They kind of cheated the cost on those, and they're known for being kind of weak. These trebles are slightly better, but they're still a thinner wire, and still they're trebles, and I hate trebles, and a lot of people hate trebles. So a lot of times with these baits specifically, the first thing people do is swap out the trebles for inline J-hook style hooks. So what I'm going to do is I bought a bunch of inline hooks specifically mated for these baits. I've got a 2/0 version and a 1/0. It's 50-50 depending on what you like, a little bit bigger hook, a little bit smaller. So what I'm doing is I'm throwing in a set of the inline hooks. And the inline hooks, what they are is the eye of the hook runs straight in line with the bend of the hook. So that when they sit on the actual lure there, they're straight forward and back. Okay, they're in line, and that makes them more effective there. So when you get them, they'll come with the normal treble hooks. If you like the J hooks, you just unclip the trebles, throw on the J hooks, inline J hooks there. Now I'm including 2 sizes, the 1/0 and the 2/0, because I'm going to be selling those as well, because like I said, there's a kind of a 50-50 mix on what people like, 1/0 or the 2/0. So I'll let you decide, so you'll get both to choose. And then in the future, if you want to order more, or if you want to test out different hooks on your other lures, you'll know what a 1/0 or a 2/0 looks like to kind of help you out there. So expect those for my my December Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. Alright, so there you go. So huge thank you to my Patreon supporters. You definitely make my life so much easier knowing that I've got that bucket of money, that if I have any problems, I could just reach in there and I could just buy whatever I lost, which I lose a lot. Not so much since I did the old sage smoke dance, but if I lose something, I break something, corrosion kills something, I just want to try something new, I know I could just don't have to even worry about it, I just do it. Hopefully that makes the channel better, less downtime, and then on the flip side, it allows me to invest into the All About the Bait store, bring in all this new cool gear, and again, thank you guys very much for your support, and I'll see you next video. Bye.